Hey, it's the last day of June.
Half
Big
over
news.
already.
And we are recording our latest episode of One Cardinal, One Cub, and One Beer, the June 30th, 2026 edition.
Woohoo!
It was that who was
Molina.
that?
That's
Was that
Yachty.
Tom Nieto?
Tom Nieto. Michael Valier. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Steve
Yeah.
Swisher.
Steve Lake,
Yeah, there
perhaps.
you go. Everybody. Okay. Those of you who are watching us on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to our channel so you can have our information as soon as it drops, and make sure you tell your friends about it so they can subscribe to our channel so it can help the algorithm. For those of you who are on Facebook, make sure that you do follow us on Facebook, and there you can see our contests where every Wednesday after I post the show on the Facebook page, I will also post a cartoon picture of a player who was an all-star but not a Hall of Famer. Last week I had Josh Hamilton, and it was first guest by Ray Hartman, the first one who lets me know that they've seen this either by liking it first or by sending me a message saying the player is Josh Hamilton. Um, you will have your name put in a hat, and at the end of the year, we will draw from that hat. And you have as many chances as many times as you win, and you will win a cornucopia of our merch. And you'll also get 2 tickets to the game of your choice. Last week was won by Ray Hartman. Ray's won 2 weeks in a row. He's getting serious about this.
He's catching it with Marlon. He's
Yeah,
catching up
yeah.
with him.
So if you need to get a hold of us, you can contact us on any of our platforms by leaving a message or sending us a PM, or you can send us an old-fashioned email at one card, one cup, one beer at gmail.com. If you'd like to look at our merch, you can go to the Etsy store, and that is you just go to Etsy.com, and in the search bar, type in one cardinal, one cup, and one beer, and you can find our merchandise there. JJ, how are you doing?
Vince, I'm doing great. I've been an Emo's man. I'm from Arkansas. I come to St. Louis. I discover Emo's Pizza. That's my favorite pizza.
Yeah,
I won't even hear it. I know. It's like I don't know. It's like White Castles. You either love it or you hate it.
I do
You
love
know,
White
I
Castles.
do love White Castles, but they don't love me. As I get older, they do not love me. But Vince, I had the best pizza I've ever had in my life. Brody bought me a whole, and I'm trying to lose weight. I've lost some weight, and I'm keep working. But he brought me a whole pizza. He goes, Dad, you got to try this. And it was a chicken pizza, and it had great cheese on it and everything. And this pizza plate, and it was the best pizza I ever had. And it had like a marinara, different kind of sauce to dip it in, and it was absolutely great. It was from South County on Telegraph Road, Mama Mel's. Mama Mel's on Telegraph Road, and I tell you what, they got like the Detroit style, the thin crust. This was kind of a little bit bigger than the thin crust. Fantastic. So I said to Brody, when we go anywhere near there, we're stopping and getting another one because this was not hot either. He brought it all the way down from St. Louis, and I was like, well, I'll try a piece or two. Incredible,
Have
incredible.
have you had Mellow Mushroom?
No, I've had not have
There's one in Kirkwood, and then there's one in
that.
Chesterfield. We
Oh,
first we first ate there. We were driving back from Florida, and were going through Atlanta. And so, why is my phone not muting? I don't want all these.
we're getting
Wow.
sponsors, Vince. We're getting sponsors. They probably heard that, and now they're trying to contact you.
I don't think it's sponsors. I think it's an old man who don't know how to use his phone properly. There we go. But so we first had it in Atlanta, and it's really good. I mean, it's pricey, but it's really good. And then I don't know, I think Evelyn was about a senior in high school, and they opened one up in Kirkwood, not far from her mom's house. So there's one in Kirkwood. We don't get it that often because we're not
Not
over
up
there
there,
anymore. I used to,
right?
with their mom used to living there, but now that they're adults, I don't want to go to Kirkwood and see my ex-wife. I mean, so
No,
we don't go there anymore, but that's really good. Have you tried Joe's Pizza?
no, I have not. I haven't had
It's
Joe's Pizza.
it's in Herculaneum.
Oh, okay. Now I
And
can go there.
I went in there for the first time, me and Kathy did, and it said Joe's Pizza, our first establishment. There's a picture, Alney, Illinois. That's where I was born, believe it or not. I,
They,
So
It's kismet. You're
we
supposed to
love
try
that.
this.
We love that.
Yeah.
Also, love Pogolinos.
You know, yeah, that's a classic. That's a
Yeah.
classic. So what's your go-to toppings? When you order a pizza, what are you putting on there?
There's well, that's two different questions.
Okay.
Um, I like a supreme pizza, or as they
Oh,
call it, Pogolinos, the clown pizza. Really like that. But my favorite pizza, and this is going to disgust you because it disgusts everybody, it
okay.
is Canadian bacon, pineapple, and sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut?
Yes.
I do like sauerkraut, but I've never had it on a pizza.
I worked at a place called Pizza Works in Hannibal when I went to college there, and they had what they called a Bavarian pizza. And it was just Canadian bacon and sauerkraut. And I
Oh,
thought, oh, that's pretty good because I love sauerkraut, good
I do
German
too.
guy. Love sauerkraut. So that was good. And then when I guess it was the mid 90s, uh my girlfriend at the time had a friend who was a shift manager at Pizza Hut. And so I called him up. I said, Mark, if I bring you some sauerkraut, would you make me a Canadian bacon and sauerkraut pizza? He said, yeah. And so we were talking a little bit. He said, boy, I bet pineapple would go good because you'd have that sweet and sour. I said, throw some pineapple on it. So that's
It
my
can,
favorite pizza. But
wow.
if
I
we
love
make pizzas at home, that's what I'm making.
be darn.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have your own little pizza maker outside where you barbecue and everything, one of those where you
Nah,
make your no, okay.
no, I just have an oven.
Okay. Yeah,
Like every other
that's
household.
what we got. We don't have a, we're just yeah, I don't have one of those. Mine is Italian sausage, of course, cheese and mushrooms. I love mushrooms. I absolutely love it. So,
Yeah,
man,
that'd be a pizza I wouldn't turn down. So,
yeah, there's no bad. Well, there are. I've had some Tony's. Well, I don't want to mention any product names, but I've had some frozen pizzas. Oh, it's like eating cardboard. But other than that, most pizzas are good.
there's a place called Papas, Poppas,
Okay,
Papas. There's one in Fairview Heights, and there's a couple in Springfield, Missouri. So Violet took us to one. Well, we've been both of the Papos locations in Springfield. And then my son-in-law Mondo, because he went up for graduation, he said, "Oh yeah, they have one of these in Fairview Heights." So a few weeks ago, when I met my cousin to get my mom's albums, that's where we met at Papo's Pizza. That's really good too.
okay, I'm gonna try that. I got a friend who wants me to go with him. There's a Pantera still somewhere up in St.
Oh,
Charles.
oh my gosh!
I
I think
know.
I think there's still one in Edwardsville too.
Oh, well, I only ate that a couple times in like the '80s, and they were big and thick and a lot of meat on them. They were great.
When I was growing up, we had one in East Dalton, and
Okay.
I thought you were from Wood River. I'm technically from East Dalton, but East Dalton and Wood River are
Kind of
like Crystal
Festus and
City
Crystal.
and
Yeah.
Festus. You don't know where one ends and one begins. But they had a Panteras here, so that was my go-to pizza when I was growing up. Because that blew everything out of the water. The only pizzas I don't like Little Caesars, and I
Okay.
don't like when I don't like the Bigfoot pizzas because the Pizza Hut puts out because they have a cheaper brand of cheese, and it's not that.
Tasted.
Yeah, that's why these are so cheap because it's not good cheese. So,
I see.
uh,
Good to know that. See, I didn't know that. You pay
well,
for
I
what
work
you
for
get
Hunt
for what
Brothers Pizza for a few years, so I know my
you know.
pizzas.
All the yeah, man. I'm glad we brought that up. That's the other thing I was going to talk about this week. One of the things, and I love this guy, and he's one of my heroes. Mel Brooks turned 100 years old. Happy birthday, Mr. Brooks! And you're a movie guy, and I love movies. What's your favorite Mel Brooks movie?
This is funny because me and Violet were just talking about this 2 nights ago. We had Spaceballs on. Okay,
Baseballs. Oh,
so my number one is Blazing Saddles.
can't beat that.
My number two, it has to be Spaceballs. I mean that one's
Baseball.
great too. And my number three is Young Frankenstein.
Well, I'm not saying this to be different. But my favorite is the producers because I love Gene Wilder, of course, he's in other ones, but Dick Shawn, to me, I can't stop laughing when Dick Shawn, who is a hippie playing the Hitler character, singing a musical. I just can't. It's just so funny. Dick Shawn is sort of like a early Robin Williams type. He's just kinetic energy,
I,
fantastic.
I need to look up who he is because that's not ringing
Oh,
any
he
bells.
was in that movie with uh, oh I'm trying to think of his name. Jonathan Winters, where all these people were racing to find this treasure, and it
Oh,
was a
it's a
star.
mad, 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 mad world.
And Dick Shawn was that hippie guy who they knew who lived near, and
Okay.
he had that girl that was dancing with him all the time. But that's Dick Shawn.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
I like the producers. Um, I like History of the World. That's pretty good
Oh,
too.
there's some great parts of that.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, Robin Hood Men in Tights. I thought, yeah,
I fell asleep during it, and I
he
love
was,
Richard Lewis. I love Richard Lewis, but
yeah,
yeah,
he
didn't do
he
it
was
for me.
losing his fastball with that one, and
Yeah.
um,
High anxiety.
Anxiety. It's okay.
I wanted to like it, but it just wasn't that good.
Yeah, but when Spaceballs came out, I was in college in Hannibal, and the scene where the alien pops out and then does the song and dancing. I've only done this in a movie twice. I laughed so hard I blacked out and I melted into the chair. I was laughing so hard. And
Oh,
the guy in front of me was threatening me because he thought I was just banging on a chair. I wasn't. I wasn't conscious. I was laughing so hard.
oh man, you got lightheaded. Woo.
The other time this happened, and this is not a movie that anyone's going to remember. Well, people will remember a bit like what made you so laugh so hard in that. In Kindergarten Cop, when when Arnold Schwarzenegger asks the kids, we're going to play a game today. It's called What My Father Does for a Living. And the kid gets up there and says, my dad's a gynecologist and he looks at vaginas all day long. I just started laughing and I blacked out and I melted in my chair, but nobody was in front of me
Nobody
to
was sick.
kill me.
To me, the hardest I ever laughed, and for the wrong reasons, was my friend Chad Barner out of Atlanta, who's been on here before. We watched Billy Jack, and it was so bad. We were crying. We were crying, laughing so hard.
Oh, you talk about movies that have not aged well. All those Tom Laughlin movies we grew up with.
Yeah,
And Born Losers is still kind of okay.
yeah, it's
Billy
okay.
Jack, The Trial of Billy Jack,
Yeah.
um,
Billy Jack goes to Washington. I think
Billy
was
Jack
one of
Goes to
them.
Washington, and then there was
Oh,
another movie that he made that was just like a he wasn't the Billy Jack character, but he was trying to capitalize by playing something else. But it was basically Billy Jack with a different name. Terrible movies.
terrible,
But
terrible.
and I don't remember which Billy Jack movie, but the one that produced the song 110 Soldier,
Oh, that's
which
Billy Jack.
I
Yeah.
think is the worst pop song I've ever heard. Oh, anyway, let me ask you, how much baseball are you going to watch this weekend? Now, this is the weekend your whole family's leaving, right?
They're leaving. They're taking the dog with them. We're putting them in the daycare because the dogs. You got to give this dog 24-hour attention. They'll wake you up wanting to go out and play. They're going to put him in there, and so it's just me and the cats. And I will probably watch probably from noon to 10. I'll just have it on and be catching up on all the guys. Man, every team's got good players, and I
Oh
know
yeah.
there's some bad teams out there, but there's players I want to see. Some of the ones that are not doing so well, they're already bringing in new people, or the trading deadline's coming up, and I'm just excited. It's just been such. I'm a Cardinal fan. I love my Cardinals, and even though we're treading water, it's been just so much fun watching these young guys and the teams and us compete. It's been a few years since we really kind of competed, even though we're not the top of the cream of the crop. We're okay, and I've enjoyed it myself.
I do want to bring this up. I don't know if he watches. I know he's a huge Cardinal fan, but a friend of ours who did comedy, John Matty, who's one of the nicest guys I've ever
Oh,
met,
funny guy,
and
great
he's
guy.
definitely funny. He used to live in South County here, and now he's moved to Central Illinois. he got his first headlining gig this past weekend at Mason City, and I was so happy for him.
Dude.
He was thrilled. He's a great guy, um, funny guy, great husband, great father. He just got a lot of nice things to say about him. But yeah, I thought, man, I would love to go to Mason City. I wish I had the time
Yeah.
to go to Mason City just to watch him, because he is fantastic.
We
And
ought
I
to
got
have him come on and in a while and talk about his upcoming shows and talk baseball. That would
Yeah,
be
I'll
great.
send him a message and say, hey, you want to come on our podcast? I know you're a
Yeah.
huge baseball fan, a huge Cardinal fan,
Yeah.
and great comic. And I haven't talked to you for a few years. He was at that show we did at Kenny's and Imperial, where
Oh.
we almost got it was terrible. And oh gosh, Nathan Orton almost got killed for making a joke, and
Oh man.
it was so mean, but it was so funny. And then um John lost his place during that set, and he just sat there and laughed for about 45 seconds before he found his place. And that night we were me and Gary Reinhardt and Lucas Enderleiter, we were at the side, we were talking, and all of a sudden we hear this big commotion, and we go to the building, and they had a brawl inside, and it spilled outside. They ripped one of the doors off its hinges to go outside, and
Whoa.
that's where we were like, "What happened?" And John comes out. He says, "Yeah, they got a big fight." I said, "We're pretty cool, yeah." So,
You never know what's going to happen in one of them shows, I'll tell you.
oh, that was such a wonderful. It was one of the worst shows, but it became epic for how I I dropped off the advertising materials like a month in advance, and the day of the show, I got a call from the club saying me and Gary we were riding together somewhere, and they said, "Hey, where's the advertising for the show tonight?" I said, "I dropped it off a month ago." "Oh, well, we
Yeah.
can't find it." I said, "I don't know what to tell you. I dropped it off a month ago."
Yeah.
So this is a show, no advertising. Now, this is a
Ah.
place where people come for music. And what we were doing, there's a local band that's pretty popular, the Jason Nelson Band. They would do a set, and we were going to do a comedy. It was a bad idea, and it didn't work. We did it at two locations. We did it at a place in the Grove, and we did it at Kenny's, and it didn't work out. But anyway, people were coming in not knowing there was a comedy show, and they came in to dance. And so the crowd was not with us at all. Fortunately, um, Gary hosted, so he went first, and people were semi engaged. Then I did about 5 minutes, and then we had Lucas, John, Joey Crack,
Oh
and
yeah.
oh gosh, who was the other one? Oh,
Orton.
Nathan Orton. So after Nathan Orton, I had to, I paid them all to begin with. I said, bad news is this hasn't been advertised. This is going to be garbage. And I told them that up front. Don't expect anything. Don't expect people to listen. This is their fault. I said, but you're all getting paid still. So,
Yeah,
because
I had fun.
that's one thing I did as a promoter. I always made sure everybody got paid, and they knew exactly what they were going to get paid. And that's one of the things I'm proudest of, because in comedy, you'll do a lot of shows where people come up to you, "I'm sorry, we didn't make that much money tonight, so I can't pay you anything but seven
Oh yeah.
dollars."
Yeah.
Um, so I paid everybody to begin with, and they all did their best. But I just, man, this show's a disaster. And then when the 1 year anniversary of that show came up on everybody's Facebook, all the comments were like, "Oh man, that was the most awesome show. That was so lit."
I think you learn more at those shows. I mean, when everything's rolling, you just have fun, but oh, you have to be, you gotta try to squeeze some laughter out of that
Uh,
audience sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. You ever think about going back on stage?
No, I probably had about 8 offers to, but it's people that, like you said, didn't pay. Oh, I'm sorry. And you drive 3 hours and then give you like a handful of, and you stretch out the ones and you get $7 and you're like, all right. And then you drive 3 hours back and you miss sleep. And I'm like, nah, I really enjoyed it. I really did. But Vince, you said something a long time. It's a young man's game, and I just couldn't break through in the clubs. I was always people say, "Hey, come to the bar. We'd love to have you out there." And I did a bar show with John Maddy. He was the headliner at this little bar, and I was like, the second one up out of four, you know. So he was very nice to me, and just I just he was good. I was just okay. I never got any better than just okay. And I thought, now I want to be great, but I just that was all I was. So that's all I've ever done.
Well, yeah, but you only did it for a few years, didn't you?
3.5. And I was
Yeah.
starting to get like, probably a show a month, And I was like, well, that's fun. I'm doing all right. Some months I'd get 3 shows, just here and there. But you got to hustle. I like John Madden. He's been at it for a long time and he's
Yeah.
great, so good for him.
Yeah, I never worked at the corporate shows. I did a few open mics during that pandemic time,
Yeah.
but I did not like the corporate clubs. I thought it was ridiculous that you had to show up and beg for a spot. I thought I'm not doing that.
I'm not
Okay.
doing that.
That's why I didn't go to the clubs except for open mics during the pandemic because I was desperate to get out for anything. Um but I the club I loved working at was in Mason City, but that's almost a
That's
3 hour drive for
what
me. But the guy who runs it there, Chris Spire, um,
yeah.
he he was the only club owner that was so encouraging. I mean, every time I got off stage, he had good things to say to me. He gave me great advice. He gave me a few
Like notes and stuff. Like,
well, not notes, but a few places where I can enhance the joke. And there were some people in I I loved working with and I didn't work that often with him because he did that show um at Heavy Anchor that started so late, but Chad Wallace, was that his name? Chad.
oh, I love Chad.
He
Yeah.
man, he was so good about giving me advice and jokes and stuff like that. Hey, try to say this, try to do this. And I like people like that, but for the most part, you didn't find too many encouragers because it's so competitive.
It is.
So,
It is.
I just kind of stuck with my people, which was the older comics, and we would have fun doing our shows by ourselves, doing our own thing. And yeah, I every now and then I think, I'll think of a joke. Oh man, that would really,
Ah,
but
yes.
like, where am I going to go to say it? Oh, I'll go to the living room and say it to Kathy and see what she likes.
I understand. Yeah.
Oh, how about some transactions and
Oh, yeah.
injuries?
Let's do it.
Oh, this is weird. The Yankees placed Ryan McMahon on the 10-day IL. Do you know what he's got?
I don't. Oh, that hand, that
No,
metatarsal thing.
no.
No. What has he got?
He has an ear and throat infection. It's just weird. You don't see athletes like, oh man, he's got the flu, he's out, or
Yeah. Right.
he's got an ear infection, he's out. And I'm thinking, man, that sounds like something I would have if I was. I mean, I have them from time to time, so I thought that was kind of cute. Uh, the Snakes DFA Carlos Santana, and they signed Carlos Carrasco to a minor league contract. And the Braves decided, you know what? If we sign Carlos Santana, that would be smooth. So they signed him to a minor
Oh,
league contract.
yes.
Yes. Um, for the Rays, Steven Matz is on the 15-day IL with a strained left ankle, and the Rays have also signed Nick Madrigal. Nicky Bats, a former
Oh, yeah.
Cub, is still bouncing around trying to latch on somewhere. For the Pirates, Spencer Horwitz is on the 10-day IL with a strained left hamstring. The Mets placed Marcus Simeon on the 10-day IL with the left hip flexor strain. Giants placed backup catcher Daniel Susak on the 10-day IL with a lower back strain. I don't know how catchers, I don't know how they don't all have lower back
Oh,
strains.
yeah.
Oh
They're all beat
gosh.
up and foul balls off the fingers and feet,
Oh,
collisions.
even when I was a teenager, and I would, squat to like warm up a pitcher or something like that without the gear on. It's like, man, this is there's nothing comfortable about this. I don't believe people do this for a living. One of our favorites has signed a minor league contract with the Phillies. We talk about him all the time because he seems to be bouncing around. Do you know who it is?
Tommy Pham?
Tommy Pham.
Tommy.
He's playing at AAA for the Phillies. And you see these teams, like the Braves signing Santana and the Phillies signing Pham. They could see we're going to get to a point in the season we're going to need a veteran bat, due to injuries, someone to come off the bench. And so they're getting these professional hitters and stocking them away in AAA for the time when they need them. The Rangers, Wyatt Langford is on the 10-day IL with a strained left hamstring. Last week or 2 weeks ago, they signed Jared Kelenic, and now they've DFA'd him. So if he clears waivers, I guess he'll go back to AAA or declare himself a free agent. And I've talked about the saga of Chris Paddock. He signed a 1-year contract with the Rangers. So Chris Paddock, third team in about a month. And
He
so,
would, when he came into the league, they thought he was going to be. I remember he wore cowboy hats. He just had a little style to him or something, and then it's just been not not went his way.
yeah, this is terrible news for a team having a bad season. It's gotten worse. Roman Anthony for the Red Sox, they've transferred him to the 60-day IL. Sprained right wrist. I'm sure that's going to be retroactive, but that means he's off the 40 man. So they're not expecting him back soon. The Mariners placed Rob Refsnyder on the 10-day IL with knee inflammation. And the A's placed Jacob Wilson on the 10-day IL with right thumb inflammation. This is his second year in the league. Does this seem to me, is it just me, or does it seem like he's on the disabled list a lot? He was
Yes,
on
sir.
last year, I know once. This year, this is, I think, his second stint on the IL. So more bad news for the A's. They placed Tyler Soderstrom on the 10-day IL with left hip impingement.
He's a good player too. I hate that for the A's.
And the Mets signed former Cub, former Ray, former Mariner, who was just DFA'd by the Mariners last week. He cleared waivers and declared himself a free agent. And his name is Christopher Morel, who,
Oh yeah.
boy, it looked like he was, at the least, he was going to be a bad outfielder who hit 30, 35 home runs, or he was going to be a DH who hit 30, 35 home runs. That's what his trajectory was. And then that last year with the Cubs, he couldn't hit. They got rid of him and he still couldn't hit, and he's still not hitting. That's why
Mm.
he's bouncing around. Mets are in terrible shape. I'll talk about that in a little bit later. And there's no obituaries of note. So everybody's healthy.
Right.
Well, they're still
They're
alive.
still yeah, they're still hanging in there.
Yeah. What kind of news do you have?
Well, you know what? The 4th of July is coming up, and that's one of my favorite holidays as a kid. It was right in the middle of summer, little league or ball was going on. You got the baseball season right in the middle of it. I just always loved the 4th of July. And I lived in these little towns in Arkansas, and they'd all each town would have their fireworks show, and now I'm old. I watch it on YouTube. Let's see what's going on in New York. Okay, they got fireworks, or over at the Niagara Falls or whatever. But the 4th of July is coming up, so I kind of have a centric 4th of July thing here. Vince, can you name me a player with the name red, white, and blue? Can you name a major league player or announcer who had the name red?
Red Shandy's, Red
Red,
Barber.
Red Shandy's very, very good. I could only think of a few, and then I looked some up. But Red Ruffin,
Red Ruffin, yeah.
yeah, and Red Shandy's. How about White?
Bill White,
Bill
um,
White, very good. I thought of Roy White too from the
Roy
Yankees.
White, yeah. Frank
Yeah,
White.
and there's a lot of Whiteys. A lot of a lot of Whiteys.
Just
Whitey, look at all the Whiteys.
a lot of
Whitey,
honkies out there,
yeah,
man.
Whitey Herzog. Yeah, one of my favorites right there. How about Blue? I only could think of two. I looked up a third.
Well, there's Vita Blue. That's the most
Yeah,
obvious one.
and his nickname was in there, but Blue Moon owned him.
Yeah.
also pitched for the eight. And there's another guy too. His name was Lou Blue. There's a joke in there somewhere, and he played in 1921 to 1928.
He was very popular with his
Uh,
teammates.
as the Dice Clay would say, he needed the money. Oh, so there's a little red, white, and blue for you there. And there's over 50 players that's played in the MLB that was born on the 4th of July. And here's a few of them. Benny Castilla, the third baseman for Colorado, born on the 4th of July. Jose Oquendo. Let's see. Jim Beatty, the pitcher for the Yankees.
Yeah, Yankee
Born on
Mariner.
the 4th.
Yeah.
Ed Armbruster, the fourth outfielder for the Reds.
Yeah.
And Chuck Tanner, all born on the 4th of July. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
And Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise as well. That's right.
I don't know when he was born, but he was in the movie Born on the 4th of July.
That's right. I enjoyed that movie. All right. 4th of July highlights that's in Major League Baseball history. This was the date in 1939 that Lou Gehrig did "I'm the Luckiest Man on the Face of the Earth" speech. In 1939, it happened on 4th of July. I did not know that. I
didn't know that was a 4th of July.
Yeah, it was a 4th of July thing. In 1983, Dave Righetti threw a no-hitter on the 4th of July. That's pretty darn cool. 1980, Nolan Ryan reached 3,000 strikeouts on the 4th of July in 1980. This is a tough one. I did know this because I've seen a poster of this happening. You know who his 3,000 strikeout was against? I give you a hint. It was the Cincinnati Reds.
1980 Cincinnati Reds.
This is so hard. This ain't fair to you, Vince. I'm setting you up for failure right here. This is a very hard question.
Bill Plummer.
Good guess. Cesar Geronimo.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I bring that up is that was also Bob Gibson's 3,000 strikeout. Was
really?
Also Cesar Geronimo. So that's kind of neat. 1984, Phil Niekro also got his 3,000 strike on the 4th of July, a strikeout, and it was against Larry Parrish of the Texas Rangers. These are some great old names that we know and hadn't thought about in a long time. But all this happened on 4th of July. All right, 1932, 4th of July, the New York Yankees are playing the Washington Senators. Bill Dickey, Hall of Famer, is catching. A guy comes in home, and back then you didn't have to leave a lane for the runner, but I think there was. I didn't see the highlights. I don't know what happened, but this guy named Carl Reynolds runs over Bill Dickey. Well, Bill Dickey got up, and one swing broke his jaw in two places. Now, this is how different it is there. First of all, you got to make a lane, but Carl Reynolds was out for the rest of the year on the 4th of July, so he missed a lot of baseball. But Bill Dickey got fined $1,000, and he had a suspension of, I think, 30 days, but that was 12.5% of his contract. $1,000 was 12.5% of his contract.
Wow.
That's a lot. You take 12.5% of these guys' contract, you could throw, build a few houses or something. That's
the gross domestic product of most countries. Yeah.
Yeah. And finally, in 1985, and I think you're going to remember this, on 4th of July, the Mets and the Braves played a 19-inning game.
I do remember that.
It started on the 4th of July, but Vince, when did it end?
It ended on the 5th of July, and they had a fireworks display that was scheduled afterwards. So it's like 2:30 in the morning. They did the fireworks display. And the funny thing was, at least for me, Skip Carey was calling that game for the Braves. And the next day I'm watching the Cub game, and Harry says, "Hey, Skip, what do you think about day baseball now?"
True. That is good. Well, the thing was, Rick Camp in the 18th inning hit a home run.
Hit a home run. Yep.
But
And
then
Rick
he gets
Camp could not hit, by the way.
no. It was shocked to everybody. It was like Bartolo Colon hit the home run. Everybody was like, "What the heck?" But then he gives up 3 runs in the bottom, and or in the next inning and loses the game. And some neat things about that game is Camp hit a home run and Keith Hernandez hit for the cycle, and the Mets won 16-13. What a 4th of July right there. You get 2 games for the price of one, Vince. 2 games for the price of one. So that's some of the 4th of July things I thought I just want to go over. And then there's a few other things happening in baseball. Every week I talk about this guy, and I just think he's one of the best. Corbin Carroll hit another triple, and this in only his 5th year, he is now the all-time leading. He's got more triples in Arizona Diamondback history than any other player, and he's only 23 years old and 43 days, and he just passed up Stephen Drew and has 53 triples already. I think that's amazing. I think triples the hardest thing to hit. Home runs you knock over the wall or you get inside the Parker, but triples that's amazing. Matt Olson just passed up and is the 9th longest consecutive game streak right now. And I tip my cap. It's so hard to go out there. Like you mentioned a while ago, there's a guy who's got the flu and he's out. Matt Olson, that's a valuable player there that can show up every day, go out there and give you his best. So I salute him. In the month of June, which we're almost out of, Vince, the top team this month is the Florida Marlins or Miami Marlins. 18 wins, and this was as of I think I wrote this Sunday. So they may have won a game that night. I don't know, but they got 18 wins, and the Phillies have 16. And since Mattingly took over, the 38-18, 20 games over 500, and they're in the wild card hunt right now. Came out of nowhere. Sometimes just a change. They say that he's playing the players that not necessarily are the best hitters, but the best defensive players. And he's really going to the bullpen a little earlier than his counterpart did. So whatever he's doing is working, and the Phillies are really responding to it. And who doesn't like Don Mattingly? So congratulations to the Phillies and Mattingly. Logan Webb was the top pitcher this month as far as ERA. Vince, 0.71 ERA. Logan Webb, who I really like him as a player, phenomenal. And the Miami Marlins pitching staff, 2.95 ERA for June. And I tell you what, we only scored 3 runs off of them in 3 games. Our hitting just not getting it done right now. But they played other teams besides the Cardinals. They played the Cardinals. They've probably been under 1 for the month. So congratulations to the Marlins, and we were lucky to get 1 victory against them. I got a question for you. These are 2 questions I wanted to talk to you about. I guess behavior on the field. And you probably know about this. The Giants were in a close game, and Rafael Devers was on first. The coach sends in a pinch runner because Devers is not the fastest guy in the world, and he waved him off. Said, "Nah, get out of here, go." And this young kid, you got Rafael Devers here. He's stuck in a hard place. The manager's telling him, get in there. And then Devers finally let him have first base and threw a big fit on the bench. What do you think about that, man?
I think that's about the most juvenile thing. Um,
Yeah.
you should have enough self-awareness. You're playing a team game. And
Yes.
yeah, you may be a much better hitter than this guy, but this guy probably is a much better base runner than you. And it's for the good of the team. I've seen great players be taken out for pinch runners.
Yes.
Um, John Kruk, it happened every game. I mean,
And I love Crookie, but yeah, he could probably barely beat me in a race, 50-yard dash. So,
yeah. It's just a part of baseball that
yeah.
star players, as they get older, they lose their speed. Yeah, you bring up you're trying to win a team game. Um, I think that one of the issues with the Giants is a chemistry issue, and I think he is one of the big problems. I think he's going to be gone. Um, it's a terrible precedence to set for the younger players. This is a veteran. This is a guy who's been an all-star. This is a guy who you've expected to be a big part of your offense, who isn't producing that much, by the way. And he has the gall to say, "No, I'll run the bases." Uh, That's ridiculous. I mean, I don't remember which final it was when the Bulls were playing in the 90s. Um, they had the last shot and Jordan didn't take the shot. He passed it to Steve Kerr and Kerr made the winning shot and they won the championship. Yeah, you've got to understand it's a team sport and there are better options for you
Yeah.
at certain aspects of the game. It's like a defensive replacement. I've never seen a player complain about a defensive replacement. Yeah, I'm sure they don't like it, but I mean, you've got two eyes and you can see, man, that guy, he's got a glove. He's awesome. I remember the Cardinals used to take out Lou Brock for people like Jim Dwyer. Brock never threw a fit. He understood I'm not that good of an outfielder. In Strat, he was a four all the time.
We
So,
love him, but yeah, but Lou was not a great
yeah.
defender.
So,
And Kurt Flood made him look better because he covered so much territory out there, and he helped him out a little bit. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
with you, Vince. It's a team game, and I heard a lot of people on these different podcasts say, if you don't like it, do better. If you don't like getting pulled for a pinch hitter, hit lefties better, run the bases better, lose some weight, do whatever you got to
Yeah.
do. Get out there, and we're going to put our best. I'm all for this too. I would trade any player on the Cardinals if it made our team better. Now, I like the fact that players play their whole career with us, and it's so hard to make that happen. They got to be happy, we got to be happy. But if it's going to make the team better, I'm all for it. Like they're talking about maybe Newbart being traded, and I'm like, I hate to see him go, but if we can get some good prospects for him and make our team better in the long run, thank you for your time, and I'll always be a fan. That's how I kind of feel about it.
One year, the Cubs traded Steve Trout to the Yankees. He had just thrown two consecutive shutouts. They traded him to the Yankees. I don't remember who they traded him for. He faltered with the Yankees. I don't know how they knew that he's it's all downhill from now. We're going to get rid of him. But they did, and it made them a better team. But I remember at the trade thinking, why are you
What the,
trading Trout? He's the only guy who's pitching really well for us. And yeah, there are times when you lose a good player and it hurts, but if you can get something in return for it, I watched Rizzo get traded. I watched Brian get traded. I watched Baez get traded. I watched all these players that are special to me because we won a World Series together. I watched them all get traded and it hurt. But we got PCA for Baez, which was tremendous. Um, the other trades didn't work out so good for us, but Kevin Alcantara, the Jaguar, is back up from AAA, and I'll get back to that. And he's a very good prospect, and that's who we got from Rizzo. And he was only like 18 years old when we got him for Rizzo. So the book's still out on him. With Bryant, we got Caleb Killian, who just did not pan out. And seems like we got someone else that didn't pan out for Bryant. But Bryant, within, I don't know, the next year,
a
he was
shell.
toast. It's
Yeah,
it if it's for the good of the team, I'm for it. I
me too.
really am. So
I agree, and I'm with you on the Devers thing too. That's very selfish, and I don't care how much money you make; it's for the good of the team. And you're setting an example for these young guys, and the young players are stuck in the middle. Mr. Devers, I'm sent out of here. Get out of here. That kind of thing. I yeah, I kind of think he even in Boston, he just seems like he's been kind of a malcontent some of the places he went. And I want him to do good, but I also want him to be a good teammate. That's just part of baseball right there.
well,
I've seen I've seen Mad Max get pulled from a game, Max Scherzer, and he's not happy about it. But the coach made a decision. They wanted to go a different direction during the game.
I don't think anybody's happy to be pulled out of a game. I mean, but
I've seen some. I cannot tell you, we have so many talent. We've had talented pitchers before, and I swear, I think. Oh, first of all, you got to be incredible. I mean, not everybody can throw the ball in the 90s. You got to everybody's born, but then you got to be able to hit your target. You got to change speeds and everything. But sometimes it's all up here. We had Alex Reyes and Carlos Martinez, and anytime things started to go out of hand, it'd fall apart. He couldn't get it back together. And some of these guys, I think Flaherty was a little like that. Man, when he was on, he was great. But if there was any kind of sign of something going awry, it just fell apart. And I think Liberatore's kind of going through some of that right now. Although I don't think he's as talented as pitcher as some of the guys I named before. And you know, it just seems like some people. It's tough. You're in front of a big audience on TV. The crowd's there, and sometimes you can feel that momentum going. And these are all major league hitters. But man, I've seen a few Cardinal pitchers. You could kind of tell they'd be looking over at the dugout and like, oh no, hurry, get somebody up quick. We've had a few in the past that I think, without saying it, they were wanting the cavalry come. And I've seen some managers do this. Hey, we're not using the bullpen up. You're going to have to suck it up and eat up a couple innings. You're going to take
toast. We need innings out of you.
Miles Michaelis, who just didn't have it anymore, and he's still in the major leagues. But there were times like, I know you've given 6 home runs up to the Cubs, but you're going back out there, buddy. That was a long day. That might have been on the 4th of July, too.
I think that was on the 4th of July.
Oh, Lord, that was not a pleasant day. Oh, that was a rough. I went in and washed dishes. I came back, he was still out there pitching and giving up home runs. I was like, oh, my God, this is rough. Well, the other question I have for you, there was another moment where Ohtani and Dalton Rushing had a miscommunication. And I'll be honest, I don't want to dislike any players. I don't want to dislike it. But Dalton Rushing's hard to like. There's been people get hurt. And he's like, F that guy. And I'm like, Jung Ho Lee from the Giants. And I know they have a rivalry, but there's no need for that.
Yeah.
Play hard and don't wish harm on anybody. But then I think he was going to call the pitches. And Ohtani was like, no. And then Ohtani said that was a strike, and he said, no. And then it was a strike. And I think he's having a little meltdown there. I want him to be good. And he's young. I hope this is just, youth, and he'll come around and because I think he's got a lot of talent. But just his attitude, that's just one guy is just, oh, man. And he's cocky, and he's a good player, and he's on the Dodgers, and it's hard to love a Dodger. But I hope that kid comes around. And I think Ohtani pitches Wednesday, so I'm kind of curious to see if he's going to be catching Ohtani on Wednesday, because I think if Ohtani said, nah, I'll take this guy over here, he's going to be setting the pine on that day. Did you see that event when they?
I heard about it. I didn't watch it. It's Ohtani.
It's Ohtani.
Yeah, I think he knows what he's doing.
I'm pretty sure. I'll just say yes, Mr. Ohtani.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically it for my news. I got a lot of little stories. Junior Cabanero, 7 home runs and 15 RBIs in 7 games. If you're going to buy a rookie card, that's the one to get on before it goes skyrocketing. And it's just been fun, Vince. This year has been a blast.
So what do you got for Cardinal news?
Well, Ollie Marmol is now he is 368 wins, and that is 9th all time on the Cardinals list. 5, and Cardinals been around a long time, 1892, and he's managed now. This is his 5th season, and he just passed up Joe Torre, and Eddie Dwyer is the next one on the list at 446 wins. He won't reach that this year, but I think he's doing a good job with the talent he's been given, and some of these players are on display for the trading deadline. So we'll see what happens. And like I said, they're saying, are they going to trade? Are they going to go out and buy? Are they going to do this? I say whatever makes us better in the long run. And there's probably 3 or 4 guys. We got a lot of catchers, and they want some of these minor leaguers that's doing good. Joshua Baez to come up, but Vince, he just strikes out too much still yet in AAA. Get your confidence. I hope he finishes the rest of the year there and goes to spring training with a chance to win a spot and see who our outfield will be next year. We know it'll be Walker and looks like Church. Scott may be back, and it could be Mr. Baez out there, who is a big guy. And when he gets a hold of them, Vince, they go. And speaking of
Let
leaving,
me ask
go
you
ahead.
something before I forget it.
Sure.
I forgot to put in my notes. What do you think about the Angels having Mozeliak as the interim GM?
Oh yes. Um, it couldn't hurt. They and I don't think he's ever actually met the owner. That team is in disarray. They need. I think he's only going to be interim. He was a consultant with the Angels, and I know he talked about retiring. And I think things kind of got stale here, but I am so appreciative of his thing here. He knows all the other GMs. I mean, he's connected. The Angels have talent. I don't know what kind of depth they have, but I think he's okay, and I don't think he's there for a long time, and I don't think he can fix everything in a 3 or
Okay,
month.
that was kind of my question.
Yeah,
He's the interim GM.
right.
Do you think he's authorized to make
Their
decision?
owner's the one. No, no, I don't.
I mean,
No,
if I had to, I would not hire an interim GM. I would go from one GM to the next one because a GM, you're looking at someone who needs to have a plan that goes out for a few years on player development, who you can trade for, what you need, so on and so forth. And Mozeliak is really good at that. Even though I didn't like his low hanging fruit comments that just used to drive me bananas. You know, if I was a player, I would not go to St. Louis knowing that he calls people who are on the waiver wire low hanging fruit. But anyway, um, but he knows what he's doing. And I, to, you could put me as the interim GM. I'm not going to make any trades or anything. You put interim GM. Okay, I'm here to warm the seat till the next guy gets here who's got a vision and a philosophy. I just find it a very odd hire for a guy with his experience and his track record and his success to take an interim GM job. I I, I just found it kind of weird. And
yeah,
get a 25-year-old kid in there to be the interim GM or something. I just thought it was weird.
he should. They're probably going to have him be part of the picking process. I would think so, and um, but I don't know. Maybe somebody will come up with that. But I don't know what the last GM did besides having a crappy team. Maybe he just finally told the owner to go suck eggs or something, and it's like, all right, you're out of here. Mostly like, get over here, take a spot, until we
Well,
find something different.
they've been decent at player development and scouting talent. But when they get to the major league level, even when they have success, it just seems like the team is in fragments,
Yeah,
you know?
injuries. Rendon spending all that money on Rendon.
Yeah.
That was just oh. And
So,
at the time, it probably looked like a good move. I mean, just came off the
oh,
World
oh
Series.
yeah. But you got Otani and Trout on the same team, and they only made one playoff appearance and didn't even get a win.
And Pujols was there, although
Well, yeah,
the
but
Cardinals got the 11 best years of his career. But
he was clearly on the
yeah,
downside then. But
diminished.
yeah, because I think they got some talent there.
Nieto, I like that shortstop, Zach
Yeah,
Nieto.
I like
He,
Logan O'Hoppe,
Adele's finally coming
Adele.
around in
Yeah,
the outfield.
it's not like they're devoid of talent and they've developed them in their own system. I just don't know why it seems like they can't put it together. But anyway, that's not Cardinal news. Now we're just
No, no, but it is Mosaic. He's an all time one there. I was going to mention that, but thank you. Let's see. Oh, the Cardinals had a press conference, and I don't have the date down, but it was about Thursday of last week, maybe Wednesday, and uh, Bill DeWitt is going to step. He's going to be there. He's still a part of the team, but his son, Bill DeWitt III, has moved to Chief Executive Officer, and he will be taking and the CEO, and his dad, who's 84. You got to plan for the future, and I hope he lives another 16 years of health and good times. But he's going to be taking over. And he was more in the financial side, and now he's going to learn more on the baseball side. He's been a part of the team since his dad's owned the team, but he's a big part of the team, and that's good. I like that continuity, and I think him and Heim Bloom have a great relationship. And then they moved another man in the system who was with the Toronto Blue Jays up to where he was before, and I can't say his name. It's a long name, and it's not. If it was Bill Jones, I could say that name, but this guy's moved up, and he's the president of business operations, and he has a, he's been with the Toronto Blue Jays for a while, and then he came over here and has his family here and everything now, and I'm excited, kind of the young blood. When we talk about young blood, 58 years old, Vince, that's the young blood in the Cardinals. But
Uh,
I like the veteran presence like that that's holding everything together. And I'm Bloom. I just like that guy. I know he can't show all of his cards or anything, but he's very honest and open. And he goes in front of the media and more than Mosaic did. And Mosaic came across a little high and a little condescending. Brian Bloom's kind of, one of the people. He talks our lingo there. Um, the Cardinals have played 81 games. That's 81 games. And Vegas at the beginning of the year put them down for 69 and a half. That's crazy. Now we may not be a great team, but I know we can win 69 and a half. And right now at the halfway point, they're 43 and 38. So, I passed functional math the third time, and I can figure it out. That's 86 wins. Do I think we're going to win 86? No. I'll stick with my original. I think they can win 77 games, 75, 77. I think, that's about where we're at. We've had some good breaks, but Vince, we've got some tough games coming up. We've got the Atlanta Braves, and, they're one of the better teams in baseball, although they're scuffling a little bit now. We got the Chicago Cubs. I know you know all about them. And I don't care if we're the worst two teams in the league. When them two teams play, it's so exciting and fun. But the Cubs right now just have the upper hand. You look at their defense, you look at their team, and they're just top to bottom. That's a good team. And with some of our pitchers scuffling, that's going to be a long visit. And then we play Atlanta again, and I know we got another good one in there before we're out. So we're in a tough stretch. And the Cardinals have had everything's not clicking at the same time. There was a part the Cardinals actually since May 25th are 15 and 19. I mean, we're setting six to 5 games over, but we've been 4 games under 500 since May 25th, 15 and 19. Sometimes it's our bullpen overwork, getting out there, and they'll blow a game late. That's just so hard. Sometimes it was our hitting. We took care of the bottom of the lineup. They started hitting better. Then our pitching, starting pitching. We go like 7 starts and maybe have 1 or 2 really good starts. The starting pitching's coming around, and now our offense is struggling. But I did find this out, and this is not my stat. Bernie Miklasz brought this up on one of his, I think it was the show on KMOX he has at noon, and he's on there every once in a while. He said the Cardinal pitchers are the best at not giving up home runs when they're home. But on the road, they're the worst. They give up more home runs than any other pitching staff on the road. And a lot of that, they stats go back to when they built Ballpark Village. For some reason, the ball doesn't carry as good. Since Ballpark Village has been built, if home and visiting teams, they don't hit as much as they normally do home run wise in St. Louis. Something about the ball not carrying, even in the summertime. So you really got to pull a ball if you're going to knock it out of Busch Stadium. Even the old Busch Stadium, it was hard to hit a home run. We didn't. Our top home run hitter might be 18 with George Hendrick or something. I remember one year that was the case.
yeah.
But this year, since the new stadium and the Ballpark Village, which I like, it's beautiful to look at. I've been over there a couple of times. It's very nice. But we just do not hit home runs. Now, on the road, we hit much better. But as a pitching staff, oh, good Lord, it's batting practice. So I did hear that stat. I thought it was kind of interesting. And here we are, halfway through the year for the Cardinals. And I'm excited for the second half, and let's see what happens. And Vince, that's Cardinal news.
Okay. I'm going to start with the injury transaction just for the Cubs just this week since our last broadcast. We signed Drew Pomerantz to a minor league contract, so he's in AAA. He was released, I think he was with the Angels, but anyway, pitched for us last year and he did fantastic. So I don't know if this is something we can fix or not, but we're desperate for arms. On the same day, Edward Cabrera and Ben Brown both went on the 15-day IL.
Oh,
Cabrera has a left hamstring strain, and he got that by covering first and kind of slipping and doing the splits.
mm,
And yeah, it looked nasty. Ben Brown is on the 15-day IL with a stress fracture in his neck. This is the same thing he had 2 years ago that kept him out for a good portion of the season. And what they're saying, and this is all early speculation, is that his throwing motion is putting undue stress because it's the same vertebrae in his neck that he broke last time. Um, that it's in his pitching motion, so he's going to have to change up a little bit of his pitching motion. That's not easy to do, you know.
no.
It's it's that's not good news. Also considering he was our easily our best starter. Easily. It wasn't even close. He had an ERA under 2. So we lost him. We lost Cabrera. We picked up Dave Peterson from the Mets for minor league third baseman Cole Matthews. Dave Peterson last year was an all-star. Second half of the year, he fell off the cliff. This year, when we got him, he had a 6.09 ERA. That's where we're at, people. Phil Maton on the 15-day IL. Remember, this is all just since the last time we did this. Phil
Wow.
Maton is on the 15-day IL with right knee tendonitis. That doesn't hurt because he sucks this year. I don't. He just lost it this year. Hobie Milner, who's been pretty good, 15-day IL. He woke up in New York, or was it in New York or Milwaukee? He woke up in pain in the middle of the night, called himself an Uber, went to the hospital, emergency appendectomy.
Whoa.
So I've never had an appendix
Me
problem, but I've
neither.
heard that it's very painful when
Oh,
you're
yeah.
having these appendix issues. And for him to call an Uber and have, yeah,
He's tough. That's a tough
yeah.
man right there.
But anyway, he's on the 15-day IL with the uh, appendectomy. Ethan Roberts is on the 15-day IL with right forearm inflammation. And our final guy is not a pitcher, but Matt Shaw, who's been hitting pretty good for us, been playing mostly right field the past few weeks. He's on the 10-day IL with the left hand sprain. So that kind of shows you this week is worse than most, but we have had this issue going on all year. This is our starting staff right now. Um, and this is just in alphabetical order. Assad, Boyd, Imanaga, Dave Peterson, and Colin Ray. To put this in perspective, Assad and Ray started the year in the bullpen. Boyd and Imanaga started the year on the staff. Both of them have had stints on the IL, and Peterson was with the Mets. Our bullpen right now, before tonight's game, Tyler Ferguson, who? Gavin Hollowell. I've heard of that name. Ryan Rollison, who's actually pitching good. Caleb Thielbar, Trent Thornton, Jacob Webb, Jordan Wicks, and Bryce Wilson.
Oh, Jordan Wicks. I know that one.
Now, in the pen, how many of those started the year with the Cubs in the pen?
Uh, two? Is there two?
Oh, you're
I
too
don't know.
generous. Just Thielbar. He's the
That's
only
it?
one that started the year.
Wow.
So our bullpen, we have 7 guys out of the 8 in the bullpen who weren't even on the team when we rolled out of spring training. And that's why I mean, we were 7-1 this week. Yes, we did play 8 games because we had a doubleheader on Wednesday. 7-1 this week. Okay. That's a heck of a week.
It's amazing with all the injuries.
Well, 4 of those wins were against the Mets, who are completely in disarray.
Oh,
Um, for the 4-game sweep of the Mets in New York, by the way, Dansby Swanson drove in 15 runs in those 4 games.
My
In
gosh.
Wednesday's doubleheader, he had 11 RBIs in the doubleheader.
He's back. He's back, Vince.
In game one of the doubleheader, the Mets committed 6 errors. And these weren't, oh, that could have been a hit. No, these were bobbles. It was the worst fielding display I've ever seen. I've been watching baseball for 50 years.
Uh,
The worst fielding display I've ever seen by a team. I don't think I've ever remember a team having 6 errors in their box score. They had 9 for the series. Um, how could we not win all 4 of those games? When you get someone who gets red hot like Dansby did for the whole series, and the Mets kicking the ball around, they they look like the most disinterested, going through the motions group of people I've seen. It's it's sad. And I had a little discussion online with Mark because they got rid of Carlos Mendoza. Was that his name? Their manager?
yes.
They
I
got rid
believe.
of him. Andy Green is the interim manager. David Ross says he's already put his name in the hat. Hey, I'd like to manage in New York. So, that's interesting. But this team is just in complete disarray. I do not blame the manager. I,
Oh
it,
no.
it-
Sometimes the chemistry. You said that a while ago.
all,
It's something about the chemistry. They got pay a lot of money. They got the biggest payroll I think there is, and it just ain't working.
yeah, there's a big name. Go get him. There's a big
Yeah.
name. Go get him. They forget about, hey, there's 26 players on a roster. You better have good players everywhere. But it seems like it's been a snowball that you just have a lot of people who are disinterested. Juan Soto's having a heck of a year too. It's sad to watch this year being wasted on a team that just doesn't look like they want to play. And so we got the 4 game sweep there. Then we went to Milwaukee, and I'm thinking, okay, now we have to face Mizorowski in
Oh,
game one.
oh my
In
gosh.
game two, let me see, we had to face Kyle Harrison, and game three, Brandon Woodruff. So I'm
Oh,
thinking, oh gosh, it's going to be a long series. And it started off that way. On Friday's game, we lost 62 to Mizorowski. I will say this: Colin Ray started, and he was taken out after 5 1/3 innings, and he was leading 1-0. So
outstanding. That's the
he went
Brewers. He did that too.
toe to toe with Mizorowski in Milwaukee, and I was very proud of him. Seiya got a home run off Mizorowski. Seiya's been pretty hot lately.
He has a good
And
history against Miz. I think he's the only man ever to hit 2 home runs off him.
oh, really?
Yeah, I heard that stat.
So I think, okay, we lost. I didn't fret over it. Bad pitching matchup, even though Ray hung in there, the bullpen can hang on. So anyway, the next day we were playing them again, and um, we are facing Harrison, who I think is 8-1 or 8-2. He's just
Oh, he's
stupidly
red hot.
good too.
Yeah.
And we march out Dave Peterson in a 6.09 ERA for the Mets. Very first pitch of the game, he gives up a home run. I thought, oh,
Here
great.
we go.
This guy's a ground ball pitcher. And in the
Yeah.
very first pitch, he gives up a home run. He ended up going 5 2/3 innings and only giving up 2 runs. One of the things that is really going to help him is that he is a classic ground ball pitcher. Um, Ground ball rate of somewhere between 50 and 60%. It's stupid ground ball. The Mets, they don't know what they're doing on defense. And they're porous. The Cubs are very tight on defense. He's going to get better with the Cubs. He's not going to have a 6.09 ERA with the Cubs. It's probably going to be somewhere in the mid to high threes, maybe low fours, but he's going to be better with the Cubs because he's a ground ball pitcher. And he goes into Milwaukee and 5 2/3 innings, only gives up 2 runs. Um, Harrison is um, pitching. He's pitching well. Then we get to their pen and we just beat up on the pen and we won 8-2. And I'm thinking, wow, I was not expecting that. I really was not expecting us to win one game in this series. I was happy with one game, by the way. I was like thrilled. So
Yeah.
Sunday, we're doing a bullpen game. So I'm thinking, yeah, and we're facing Brandon Woodruff, who since he got off the IL has been lights out. So I'm thinking, okay, here's the game we're going to lose 10-1. Um, we go into we finish 9 innings tied 1-1. And then we go into the 10th, and in the top of the 10th, we scored 3 runs. Okay. Now, um, we go into the bottom of the 10th, and I'm thinking we're still going to lose this because our pen is so beat up. Well, they scored 2 runs to make it 4-3, and they have the bases loaded with nobody out. I thought, there's no way. I'm not watching this game because we had my grandson over on Sunday, and
Oh,
Tabby and Mondo and Evelyn and Tony and Violet was home. So we had 60% of our kids here and their significant others for Dominic's birthday. But I am watching it on the phone. I see, oh my gosh, we're up 4-1. Then next time I look at my phone, 4-3, bases loaded, nobody out. I'm thinking, oh crap. So guy pops up. So it's still 4-3 with one out. And then their catcher is up the bat and he hits a classic ground ball to Bregman. Easy double play. And we won 2 out of 3 against the Brewers. And I'm thinking, maybe maybe we are have a little magic. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. So then last night we played the Padres. We beat them 3-2. It is 2-2 in the bottom of the ninth. Suzuki got a bases loaded hit that hit off the ivy, so it was just a single because we scored the winning run. He did that off Mason Miller, by the way. So he had a
wow.
home run against Mizorowski, and then a few days later he took Mason Miller off the wall. So Seiya's getting hot, and so we beat the Padres last night 3-2 to give us a 7-1 week. We That was our 10th walk off of the season.
That's magic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's magic. It's an indication we are letting too many teams back into the game because our pitching staff is so bad that somehow, some way, we're doing magic. We are 13-4 since we went through that terrible 7-22 stretch when the injuries first hit us, and we were like, what are we going to do? But I'm telling you, this team has gotten angry. They are playing with a chip on their shoulder now. And Craig Counsell is managing with a chip on his shoulder. I've never seen the guy show emotion. And I've seen he's getting mad. There was a pitch late in one of the games that was called a strike on Bregman. It was about this far low, and Counsell's in the dugout hitting his head, like, challenge that stupid thing. And Bregman didn't. And, still called a strike. Um, but you see him animated in the dugout. You see him getting angry and taking his hat off. And, I've never seen him do this.
Oh, he's
And
cool.
it
He's Mr.
is
Cool.
just, you just see this team out here. It's almost like yeah, you think we're dead because we're injured. We're going to show you. It's almost the we against the world. We are winning ugly. And I first heard that term in 1983 when the White Sox won the American League West when
Tony
Bruce
Luisa.
was managing. And I don't remember who said it, I don't know how they win. They just win ugly. And that's what we're doing now. We are winning ugly. So I'm very happy. Couldn't be more happy with this team right now. I am still a realist. I still know that we can't overcome this for the rest of the season unless we get some help with pitching. But at least we've got ourselves into a position where we don't have to be sellers. And I don't mean that we were ever going to be selling and rehauling the team, but we're going to probably get rid of a few pieces for the future. I see us now at the trade deadline. If we keep this up, we have proven we can go to Milwaukee with a banged up team, and we not only can compete, we can win that series. So, what are we going to do? Well, let's call the Tigers and see what they want for Skubal. Let's call the Mets, see what they want for Peralta. I don't know if we're going to call the Marlins and see what they want for Alcantara because suddenly they're in the playoff hunt too, so they may not be sellers. But it's just kind of, I guess, juice to me for 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 this the rest of the season. You know, the realist in me says it's probably not going to happen, but the little boy in
Uh,
me that's seen the Cubs do this, I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, let's keep going. Let's yeah. So um,
The hard times builds character, and you got a lot of character guys on that team, and they're professional. They work hard. They take professional at bats. But I think the secret weapon for the Cubbies always has been the fans. No matter what's going on, 10 losses in a row, 10 wins in a row, they pack that place and they love their Cubs. And they have players will go out and bust their butts for you. They haven't quit. They didn't quit when they lost 10 in a row. Their pitchers are all banged up, but they go out there and play hard. And the Cub fans, baseball fans, appreciate that. Now you go online and you get all these people. Nothing makes these people happy. They complain about everything, but the average fan just loves that, and it's fun to watch. I watched the Sunday game, Vince, and of course, the Brewers kind of like them. The Cubs, like, since I known you, I kind of like them, and I was like, all right, that's a hit. Oh, Cubs, oh yeah, it came back, yeah. I just enjoyed it so much, and that was just a great baseball game. Somebody had to lose, and the Cubs came out on top, but that was a great game.
um, there are fans um, who are, I don't want to hear excuses about injuries. I don't want to hear excuses about this or that, that you better win. I'm a fan. If you don't win, I'm going to be pissed off.
Yeah,
I'm not like that. I'm kind of like excuses is it's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is reasons.
yeah.
Um, an excuse doesn't have a basis, you know. Um, why didn't you turn in your homework? My dog ate it. That's an excuse. Why didn't you turn in your homework? My dad was rushed to the hospital. He had appendicitis. We were up all night. Um, I'm sorry. You know, I'll take the zero. No, no, you can do it. You know, there are sometimes and there are things that are reasons. And I don't see this Cub team. I don't think that what I've been talking about have been excuses. It's reasons.
Oh,
You
right.
can't lose your pitching staff like that and not expect it to affect your team. I just went over a pitching staff with 13 guys where I would say that eight of them are minor leaguers. You know, that's their skill set right now. So anyway, that's
I
it for Cub news.
they're talking. The Dodgers are talking about going after Scooble. Vince, I just want someone, anyone. I don't care if it's the Yankees. Someone besides the Dodgers get Scooble. Could you imagine this? If the Brewers, who have a strong minor leagues, let go of some of those minor leaguers and get Scooble, and you got Miz, Scooble, and Harrison, and then you throw in Woodruff, Vince, that team could be, that could be something special right there. Not
See,
that I don't want the Cubs to get him, but I just don't want the Dodgers to get him.
see, that's my fear is that the Brewers, who've got a lot of chips to play with in the minor leagues, they'll go get him. If they do, he's a rental.
Yeah. Oh,
If the
yeah.
if the Cubs get him, they're going to open the vault for him.
Yes, that's true.
And
You still
one
could
of
get him at the next year if that's the case.
yeah, one of the issues with Scooble is that he's pitched in Detroit, which is okay.
Yeah.
Um, Milwaukee is a very small market. Um, if he comes to Chicago, LA, New York, he's a superstar. He's a superstar now, but he the money he's going to make on endorsements and everything else in those big cities is
Right.
going to be a huge bonus. I don't know if he's got in his contract that he can veto a trade or if he's just you know, has no control over that. But if he's got any control at all, I don't think he's going to want to go to the Brewers,
Yeah,
because I think it's just going to be okay. I got to get an apartment because there's no way they're going to pay me, and then I'm going to walk, whatever. If I'm the Brewers, I push all my chips in this year.
yeah.
Okay, fans, for about the past decade, we've been good enough to win the regular season, and we keep getting bounced in the playoffs because we're just not built for these short spurts. If you put a pitching staff like that out there, you're fine. So I could see them going all
They
the way.
went and got CC Sabathia that timing, that
Yeah.
little half season between the Indians and the Yankees, and he did great for them. And
Yeah, it's like 10-1. Yeah.
but the thing was, they knew he wasn't going to be back, so they just pushed him out there. Get out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Oh, so what me and JJ decided we'd do is we're going to split the era into two. I'm taking basically 1900 to 1969, and JJ's doing 1970 to the present. But we're going to talk about five players who transcended baseball and became kind of pop culture icons. So, and there's various reasons for that. So I thought what we would do, I was going to just start with number five and work my way to number one. Babe Ruth, big spoiler alert. Um, uh, so do we want to trade off or
Uh, you know what? You go and just go from 5 to 1. I didn't really put them in order because there's so many different reasons for what they did and that I did. But I'd like to hear yours. I'm excited to hear your top five.
okay? Yeah. By the way, I have three Yankees on this. Sorry.
Well, they did dominate.
Uh, Number one or number five, I have Yogi Berra, St. Louis guy, exceptional player. Uh, don't let the down home folks. He was an intelligent player, and he was very funny. Um, he became popular as the catcher for that dominant Yankees teams, those dominant Yankee teams. But then he transcended into doing media. And that's when he kind of opened up as not just a baseball icon, but a pop culture icon. And a lot of those were his witty quotes, like uh, "Nobody goes to that restaurant anymore because it's too crowded. When you're
Classic.
driving and you see a fork in the road, take it. It ain't over till it's over." Okay. Um, about 10 years ago, someone lent me their book of yogi quotes. There's just way too many of them. I wish I still had the book, but I had to give it back because I was just borrowing. But um, tremendously funny. But when he finished his baseball career and he was doing games and he was doing uh, media appearances, uh, game shows, people, man, this guy is really funny. He's hilarious. And the thing that really put him over the top in pop culture, uh, he inspired the famous cartoon of Yogi Bear.
Right there.
So that's my first one, Yogi Bear.
I love that. Want me to go now?
I'll keep going.
Oh, okay.
I got another Yankee.
Oh, surprise.
My next Yankee is Joe DiMaggio. Uh,
Oh, yeah. Joe. Yeah, Joe and Joe.
Jolton Joe, um, he was a ball player, but he was also known because he was a dapper man. He was a handsome guy and he always wore custom suits and he stood out wherever he went because he looked like $1 million. He looked so much like $1 million that he married Marilyn Monroe. At the time, she was the biggest star in the world. So you
The It
got
Girl.
one of the greatest baseball players married to this, and his popularity just exploded into people who didn't know baseball. Gosh, who's that? who's that guy she married, man? Some kind of baseball player with a funny name. Gosh, he's good looking. And suddenly Joe DiMaggio posters came into vogue when he was married to Marilyn Monroe, and he started selling more merch at that time than he did when he was a baseball player. And then he was asked, this sounds so silly, he was asked to be the spokesperson for Mr. Coffee. And his Mr. Coffee commercials were so good. And I think he did it for like 10, 15 years. They were so good. People knew him more for Mr. Coffee than they did that he was a baseball player. But the thing that really cemented him into pop culture is that wonderful song by Simon and Garfunkel, Mrs. Robinson. Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? Our nation turns its weary eyes to you. What's that you say, Mr. Robinson? Mrs. Robinson, Joel and Joe is gone away. Hey, hey, hey. Do you know
Yeah.
that they were wanting to put Mickey Mantle in there, but they couldn't get it to work? So they, they put Joe
Joe
DiMaggio.
DiMaggio.
So,
Yeah. Paul
so they,
Simon was a huge Yankee fan.
yeah. So that's awesome. Number three, and this is not a guy who made it into pop culture because of a marriage or his witticisms. I have Jackie Robinson
Oh, yes.
because the social progress that we made in baseball by him breaking the color barrier, he became instantly a lightning rod, not just for integrating baseball, but a civil rights lightning rod. He was very involved in the civil rights movement, and there's been many movies made about him. The last one was with Chadwick Boseman.
That's a good one.
I took Max and Violet when they were little. I made them read the Jackie Robinson story. I took them to go see the Jackie Robinson. I wanted you to know this is not just a ball player. This is a guy who is very important in the history of the United States. There's been other films, The Court Martial of Jackie Robinson. Just he's just been immortalized in so many things, and also in literature, many, many books, everything from baseball books to civil rights books that just have huge chunks talking about Jackie Robinson and what a difference he made. And he was on the forefront of the civil rights movement. He never wavered from that. He got diabetes, and the diabetes coupled with the immense pressure he was on his entire adult life fronting this movement by integrating baseball, he died way, way, way too young. So I have him as my third.
Great,
Uh,
great one.
Number two is kind of a surprise. I got Bob Euchre.
I love it. That's a great one,
A
man.
lot of people have no idea he played baseball. They see he's Mr. Belvedere, or he was the guy who was on Johnny Carson who was so funny, or he was the guy who did the light beer commercials who was so great. He's known more for the stuff he has done in pop culture than he is for baseball. And in fact, when you would listen to him call a baseball game, he wasn't funny. He was he just called it right down right as he saw it. But you didn't have all this joking and clowning stuff. He did that stuff aside from his announcing career. Did he do that stuff while he played baseball? Yeah. Did he go out with a tuba and try to shag fly balls at the World Series? Yeah. So he's always had this offbeat sense of humor, but he really in the 80s with his appearances on Carson and his appearances in the light beer commercials, when they said, "Hey, would you like to do a sitcom?" And he said, "Sure, as long as I can keep doing my day job, calling Milwaukee Brewers games, sure." So he did Mr. Belvedere. Not a good actor, but boy, it was entertaining. I used to watch Mr. Belvedere. He
Did
was
too.
yeah, and he
Yeah.
was more the straight guy in Mr. Belvedere, but beloved by everybody who ever met him. So I've got him as my number two, and I'm going to mention three honorable mentions. Ted Williams, and I'm only mentioning Ted Williams because JJ would strangle me if I
Yeah.
didn't.
I love
Uh,
Ted.
I also have Mickey Mantle on here. He was someone who transcended that. And my last is the greatest Negro League player ever, Satchel Paige, who, aside from being a great pitcher, was just a hilarious human being, much like Yogi Berra. You know, don't look
Uh,
back because something may be catching up with you. Don't eat fried foods because it angers up the blood. And just a lot of witticisms like that. So, of course, my top is Babe Ruth, the original cultural icon crossover from baseball. Um, he popularized the home run and he became the face of baseball in the 1920s, right after the Black Sox scandal, when it looked like baseball was going to flush down the toilet. Um, he starred in some early silent films, and then he played in some talkie films, most notably Pride of the Yankees, where he played himself, big stretch. Uh, but he was the first that, yeah, you're saying you're going to pay me to advertise hot dogs? Sure, I'll advertise hot dogs. You're going to pay me to advertise this? I'll do it. Um, and he would do little clips um, for the movie tones. And um, that's used to be before a movie, you would have shorts and movie tones. And shorts would be like the Three Stooges or Laurel and Hardy. You'd have these like 15-minute shorts, and then you'd go to the movie. They'd also do movie tones, which were the news. And he would do a few of those kind of things. So not only would he, baseball fans knew him, people who didn't follow baseball, everybody knew who Babe Ruth was, but he was a character. He's a very likable character. And the ultimate compliment was in World War II, that's the way they would determine whether or not someone was a German spy, even though they spoke with a great American accent. Who's Babe Ruth? Everybody
yeah.
in America knew who Babe Ruth was.
Ew, babe.
Germany didn't. So that's how they nabbed a lot of the spies who were trying to infiltrate our military. So Babe Ruth, my number one.
Oh
JJ,
yeah.
what do you got?
All right. Vince, I have been working on this list back and forth. I don't it's so hard to because there's been so many great players, icons, if you will. So I'm going to start out with my number five. I finally just decided this is number five, and I'm going with Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson,
Ooh.
two-sport athlete, probably could have played any, did track and field and everything, kind of the modern day Jim Thorpe, if you will. And he was going to go in the NFL draft, but his number one sport he loved to play was baseball. And it's just sort of somehow, some of the greatest players that played on the Cubs and the Cardinals sort of just fell in our laps. Pujols, they said, was supposed to be, you know, the Royals said don't let him get it past the fifth round. That's a fifth round draft choice right there. We got him in the 13th round, and everybody else. So we got lucky there. Molina, same way, kind of just fell into our lap. JJ Weatherholt right back here. There's JJ right there. Anyway, fell down to number 8. We just happened to be the lucky ones that grabbed him at the time. But he got invited to go to Tampa Bay and get a physical and see the facilities because they had the number one pick, and they said it was okay with the NCAA. Oh, don't worry about it. We got it taken care of. Well, what happened was he didn't get to play his senior year of baseball, and he told Tampa Bay it ticked him off because he loved playing baseball. He said, "Don't you draft me? I'll set out rather than play for you guys." Of course, Tampa Bay took him. He set out, signed with the Royals, went down there and played. And the only reason he went to the NFL was the Raiders, who took him, I think, the next year, said he could play baseball because he said, I want to play baseball. Came up with the Royals, and Vince, in that short time period, we're only talking 86 to 94, but we're really talking 86 to 90. He's like a comet. I don't think there was a better athlete. This was a big man who ran like lightning. You couldn't take your eyes off of him. Uh, just some of the things that he did. He was going to cover all the magazines. There was a play where he caught the ball and ran up the wall. Who's ever ran up a wall and came down the other side? He was in the All-Star game, led off the game with a home run. And he was the MVP of that All-Star game. Uh, he would get upset or he would be disappointed in himself and break his back. Vince, I tried to break a broomstick and I hurt my leg. He was taking back, cracking it over his head or thing. He's got an iconic card where he's in shoulder pads with the bat behind him. I looked and looked for that card. God, I have it, but I have so many boxes of cards. But I'm going to go out and buy another one just so I can have that card because that's one of the all-time greatest cards. So he really didn't. Bo Jackson, he don't need a nickname, but they had a whole series of commercials called Bo knows hockey, Bo knows tennis, Bo Diddley. He was playing and Bo, or whatever. It was just great. I had a T-shirt that said it had a picture of Bo Jackson. It says Bo knows. It was just great. It was like people showed up for batting practice just to watch Bo Jackson. There's a famous play where Harold Reynolds, who led the league in stolen bases one year, was going to try to score from first on a ball that he probably should have, and Bo Jackson just got it and threw a strike home and nailed Harold Reynolds. And if you see the video, Harold Reynolds just has this look like, how the heck did he, how did he get throw me out? And he was just
From the
great.
warning track.
Yeah, the length of the field, the whole field. Uh, he only played those short years because he got hurt playing football. It may have happened if he did baseball, but there was nothing Bo could do. He changed the game. I remember in the old days, you could block the plate. Well, when there was a sac fly to the outfield, them catchers got out of the way. Nobody wanted Bo Jackson running them over coming home. Here you go. Here's Mike Sosha. Here you go, Mr. Jackson. Or Mr. Yeah, please take home plate. He was fun to watch. A lot of power. He stole bases, on base percentage for his career, 784. And a guy who only played that short time, those 6 years with the Royals, they retired his number because he was must watch TV. And man, I tell you what, he was something else. And I think we all got cheated. But just like a comet, it comes fast and it leaves fast, and you just got to enjoy it while it's here. But he was truly something to see. And he was the first of a wave of two-player, but he was the best of the two-way players that played football and baseball. So I put him on there.
Yeah, I was fortunate. I lived in Kansas City from 88 through 90, so right during his prime.
Yeah.
And he was the city. Everybody, Bo Jackson, Bo Jackson. And I went to a game and he's on first base and Dave Righetti is pitching for the Yankees and Righetti throws to first. He's a left-hander and Bo broke for second. And I've seen this play 1,000 times. First baseman just throws the ball to the second. You tag him out. Bo beat the throw there. It's like I've seen that in little league. I've seen it in high school. I have never seen it on the professional level. It was like unreal. And
Have you ever seen a man that big, that powerful, be that fast? I've seen fast guys, PCA and Vince Coleman, but I've never seen a guy that big be that fast.
yeah, ask the game that they played on Monday Night Football in Seattle, where the whole team they're it's like 2 yard line. The whole team knows that Bo Jackson's getting the ball and they're all keying on him. And Brian Bosworth hits him on the line and Bo just flattens him into the end zone and the whole team falls down. It was almost like it was kryptonite. It was like
Yeah. Oh my
he's
gosh.
such a great athlete. And
Yeah.
it's not that he was an all-pro football player, not an all-pro caliber. He was an all-pro football player. He was an all-star baseball player. Nobody's done it on that level in both sports.
Oh man, it was so it was a that time period was so fun, and I just wish I had paid more attention. That's why I always say, fans, time's going to go. These players, you think, oh, they'll be around forever, but their time comes and goes. Just enjoy them while they're here. But he was something else. The next guy I have on my list is the one and only Mr. October, Reggie Jackson.
I knew you'd have Reggie.
Yeah, huh?
I knew you'd have Reggie.
I love Reggie. Matter of fact, do you see the thing here? Bo Jackson, Reggie Jackson. I got a lot of Jacksons in here.
And
But Reggie,
Bo Jackson's first name is
what is it, Bo Jackson?
Vincent.
Oh, they've got everything covered here.
He's a
Yeah,
nice Italian guy. Yeah.
that's right. Well, Reggie Jackson was already a star by the time he went to the Yankees. He played for that Oakland A's team, which was just a young team that all of a sudden they put this team together and they turned out to be incredible players and played for years and years and years. But there was no bigger player on that A's team that won 3 straight World Series than Reggie. And I remember the first time I really paid attention to baseball, Reggie got hurt and he came out when they announced his name. He'd come out on crutches and the crowd would go nuts. I said, who's this guy? Man, he's on crutches. And the fans are just absolutely going nuts for him. But Reggie, I tell you what, no one come up bigger when the light was the brightest, he shined the best. Reggie then, of course, goes to the Yankees, and I tell you what, the biggest star in the biggest city, and the rest is history. And everything he did made the news. He number 44, man, I could go on and on. He was an MVP. He was a two-time World Series MVP. Vince, his baseball card to this day, and he hasn't played in years. And sometimes when a player goes away, the card wanes, except for Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle's the only baseball card that just keeps climbing. But Reggie's rookie card, if you get it in a PSA 10 and there's only one PSA 10, it is worth over $1 million. If you can get a Reggie Jackson rookie card with the
Wow.
Oakland A's, and you can get a 10. Now, if you buy a 9, it's only $68,760. The last sale of his number, if you get one graded at a 9. So he's still as popular as ever. There was something about Reggie, even though, I mean, his lifetime batting average is 262. He had 563 home runs. And some of the things that I just wanted to talk about, he was drafted in the first round, the second pick, but Reggie's been in movies. When he went to his first All-Star game in Tiger Stadium, he hit the ball. It would have went completely out of the field, but it hit the light stanchion right at the top of the stadium. And if you see the video, he's running with his shoulders out. He's feeling himself pretty good. But he's one of the few superstars that was really good on the microphone when they asked him questions. I'm the I'm the straw that stirs the drink. I know his teammates might not like that, but man, that was just something to say. They wrote books about him. He's been in movies and on TV shows. He had his own candy bar. Vince, the Reggie Jackson candy bar. You're in the big time when you got your own candy bar. Ric Flair never had a candy bar. No, Ric Flair, no candy bar. Reggie Jackson had a candy bar. And I have to say this. I saw him strike out once, and it was the greatest strikeout I ever seen. In the World Series, it's Bob Welch for the Dodgers and Reggie Jackson for the Yankees. Bob Welch goes, "Here's my fastball, big boy. Hit it." And Reggie was swinging from the gate, and then foul ball, foul ball, foul ball. I think it was like a 10 pitch at bat. And finally, Bob Welch got one past it. That was so much fun. I don't know who I was rooting for there, but it was just, that was so entertaining. Reggie hat would almost come off, and he had to put it back on. He'd get back in there, and then famously there was a lot of turmoil with the Bronx Zoo, and Reggie was right at him and Martin, Thurman Munson, and the owner George Steinbrenner was all at the apex of that. It kind of culminated with Martin pulled him off the field, and then them getting into it in the dugout. But even that made news. So Reggie Jackson is my number 4, and I know I'm going a little long, but my God, I love Reggie Jackson. All right, my number 3. I don't know, man. This is going to be tough. I may go. My number 3 is Nolan Ryan. I'm going to say Nolan Ryan. Oh, right there he is, Mr. Nolan Ryan, as we speak, standing back there with an autograph right there. Nolan Ryan. This is why I'm going to say Nolan Ryan. First of all, what endurance this man had. When they talk about Cy Young, they said, well, they lost 300 games. Yeah, he won 519 games. What the heck are you talking about? He did have the most walks in the history of baseball, but he is light years ahead of anywhere else in strikeouts. And there's something about a pitcher, a batter, and the pitcher striking him out. It's like boxing, mano a mano. Here it is. Try to hit it. And this man played for 27 years. He I just think he's a gold standard because every time a new kid comes along, the Miz right now, oh, this is the next Nolan Ryan. And we've had people that were great for a while, not 27 years worth of great. And Reggie, and I have to say, Nolan didn't start out as a world beater. He was in the bullpen with the Mets and won the 69 World Series. But when he got to California, he's had, here's some stats for you. Most no-hitters, 7. The next one back is Koufax with 4. The most one-hitters, he's tied with 12 with Bob Feller. The most two-hitters, 18, and the most three-hitters with 31. And to get these, you got to complete the game. And today's pitchers just don't do that. And it seems like they have more injuries today. I don't know what the difference is. Nolan Ryan threw just as hard as anybody, but he was just something special. He did commercials. And one of the best things that I can say about a player is there's been over 21 teammates that have named their sons Nolan after Nolan Ryan. And that's about as big as honors you can get. Nolan Arenado was named after Nolan Ryan. What's the bigger thing than that? And after all these years, if you have a Nolan Ryan number one, if you have his rookie year and it's at the 10, it's worth $600,000. The last one sold for 600. Well, the one card, and I think Dimitri Young owns that card. Dimitri
Mm,
Young, the baseball player, owns that card.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and if you want a two nine, it's it's $103,000, $103,200, and that was 1969 when that card came out. So, what else can you say about Nolan Ryan? Well, the next one I'm going to say is the icon of our of 70s now is Ken Griffey Jr. Ken Griffey Jr. Dad was royalty, baseball royalty. He grew up in the Cincinnati Reds, uh, clubhouse with around Rose and Morgan and Bench and Foster and all those players. Vince, he was the number one player taken when he came into the draft, and he was 19 years old, right out of high school. He's a Hall of Famer and MVP, but he's probably got I read this, the two cards that have been graded the most, the 89 Upper Deck and then his traded card from Topps, that same in 90, are the two most graded cards that are out there. Um, I do have the Upper Deck and I do have the traded card, but I've never had them graded because I don't know it's tough to get a 10 and it's tough to get a 9. But this guy was iconic. Commercials. Um, he he that sweet swing. He had that swing that everybody talked about. He was the player that was known for turning his hat around and just being casual, big smile on his face. Maybe one of our version of Willie Mays in our generation just could go get it. 630 home runs. Um, and every kid wanted to be like him. I played wiffle ball on a lot of teams, and there's even wiffle ball bats. There's video games. He was on every magazine. When you got the cards that year, you always wanted to see what the Ken Griffey Jr. Card looked like. He had some injuries along the way, and I think his heyday was with Seattle, but he was Mr. Seattle. He had a song. He's been in The Simpsons episode. Yeah, that's big time, Vince. When you've been on The Simpsons, that's big time. And anyway, what else can I say about him? But I would put him as the second most iconic player. And Vince, I have to say, the number one, I've never seen anything like this, is the Shohei Ohtani. I think he's taken baseball to just across the planet. In Japan, when you go to their Times Square, it's him with watches and him with a drink. He's selling everything. He's on all the commercials. Even here, he's on the commercials. If you look at the stands, if the Dodgers are there, there's Ohtani shirts everywhere. I think he sells the most merch of any player that there's been in a long, I don't know if ever, but he's well spoken. He's polite. He's I hardly ever see him lose his cool. You don't know anything about him. He's kind of a mystery. I didn't even know he was married, until he had a
Yeah, I don't
dog.
think
I didn't know he
anyone
owned a
did.
dog. Yeah, you don't know anything about the guy. But in LA, they absolutely loved him. I came up with the Angels, and of course, we knew he was a star. But Vince, when we were kids, would you ever think there could be a 50-50 player? A 50-50? That's crazy talk. And just there's nothing he does there's not an aspect of the game he can't do. Pitching, he wants to desperately win a Cy Young. I don't know about some of the guys that pitch every fifth day, but I don't know how you do it. It's so hard. He's had 2 arm surgeries, and still yet people love him. I went to Milwaukee. I was going to go to Milwaukee and see a game, but I knew the Dodgers were there, and I wanted to take my son to say, "Hey, there's Ohtani right there," you know. So anyway, I put Ohtani number one, and there's not a place you can't turn around or see anything about baseball. Anytime there's even a commercial about baseball, you got Ohtani right there. So I put that as most. I think him and Ruth are the most iconic players that ever played the game.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So,
Yeah.
JJ, once again, I have a pack from the
Oh
Let's
yes,
see.
the hangers.
This is
Yeah.
the
What year is that?
hold on, let me read this. It is the 89 tops.
89 tops. I have 91 top stadium club because I love the photography.
Okay.
And Vince, I got that for $3. And there's a
Nice.
Nolan Ryan in here of him in a tuxedo pitching. And I've been looking for that Nolan Ryan card. Hopefully it's in here.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and go first, being you
All right.
to stave off the did I get the Ryan card? Give you a little more time to
The mystery, folks.
the pride of Maryville, Illinois, the
Ooh.
pride of Triad High School, former Cardinal, former California Angel, former Atlanta Brave, and I didn't even remember he played for the Pirates, Ken Oberkfell.
Oh, how about that? I love Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I I was at the Nationals or the Nationals in Collinsville, which is right next to Maryville. Whenever I was when I lived in Collinsville, and there was a girl there that was checking me out, not hey checking me out,
Hey,
checking me out, and
hey now.
her last name was Oberfell. I said, "Got to be related to Ken." She said, hey, "He's my older brother." I said, "Oh, really?" I said, how's he doing?" She said, "I don't know. I never seen him." There's like 15 years age difference. So,
Oh,
okay, well, whatever. Uh, I don't remember this guy. Pitcher for the Angel, Dwayne Bruce.
don't know him. Don't know Dwayne Bruce.
Philly leaders for 1989. Let's look at a few of
All right.
these.
1980.
Hits, Juan Samuel, 153 hits.
Oh.
Home runs, Chris James, 19. Runs batted in, Juan Samuel, 67. Boy, the Phillies must have really sucked in 88. Uh, Phil Bradley, 77 runs. To do games, Kent Tekulve, 70. Yeah, Kevin Gross had 12 wins. Yeah, he just wasn't that good that year.
I remember Kevin
Probably,
Gross.
huh?
I remember Kevin Gross. I forgot that. I forgot all about that player.
Probably they weren't that good because they had guys like Brad Moore pitching. Who's Brad Moore? I don't know. He's a Philly pitcher who was on a bad team. For the Twins, homegrown hero, played for the two World Series teams, Greg Gagne.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Also for the Twins, utility or not, no, no, pitcher, Fred Tolliver.
All right.
Ooh, number one draft pick out of Auburn for the Orioles. He became a closer, Greg Olson.
I had a great year in the bullpen.
Former athletic, and this guy actually did color commentary for the Cubs for a while, Dave Otto.
Okay, I barely remember him.
Oh, this guy would have been much better if he was playing offensive line for a football team for the Braves, Terry Blocker.
Is that Dan's brother?
Good. Yeah, brother from another mother. So, oh, we just had this guy last week for the Twins, former Cy Young Award winner, former Met, Frank, Sweet Music Viola.
Oh yeah, I love that guy. He beat the crap out of us in the '87 World Series.
Former Royal, former Red, former Cub, former Philly, Daniel Jackson.
Oh yeah, he was good.
And for the Dodgers, fourth outfielder, Franklin Stubbs. Good
Good,
player.
good utility man.
Former Cardinal, former White Sox, former Cub, and he had the biggest glove I had ever seen in the outfield, Lance Johnson.
Lance Johnson, yeah.
He, I,
A lot
he
of stuff.
had a glove like
Like
he
he's
was a
catching
stand.
knuckleballs, huh?
Yeah, it was it. But he said, I'm an outfielder. I want to have the advantage of being able to stretch out and catch. So I don't know why other outfielders don't have big gloves like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Former shortstop for the Mets and for the Yankees, Rafael Santana. I had
I
no
remember
Hall of
him.
Famers. This was a very mediocre package. Nobody loves me. Everybody hates me. I guess I'll go eat worms. What do you
Well,
got,
hang on.
JJ?
You are going. Your pack will blow mine out of the water. Vince, I bought this. I swear to God, I was not doing any shenanigans. It says 1991 Top Stadium Club, 12 cards. Premium cards. It was with the baseball cards. See if you can see if there's a theme coming up. All right. The
Okay.
the first player is Stephen Finn. I don't even know what team he plays for. Check this out. Stephen Finn. He's somewhere in that scrum right there. Tops Upper Stadium right there. I don't even know which guy that is. I don't even know what team he plays for.
This is the
See,
second time this has happened to
yeah,
you.
it was football cards last time. I
Yeah.
swear there was all these different types of packs that I said, oh, I like Stadium Club. $3. That's nothing. I'll buy that. All right, this guy's a Nordique. I don't even know what city is that. The Nordique,
Quebec.
Quebec, and his name is Craig Woolanen. Right there. There's old Craig right there with that old sweater. 1991. He could be a Hall of Famer, Vince. We don't know. How about that? Ooh, the Maple Leafs. That's where the Hockey Hall of Fame is. And this guy's name is David Reed. Look at that guy. He means all business. Right there, David Reed. I like it when they used to smile and they'd have three teeth missing. That was some hockey cards right there. All right, Brian Crope, and he's with the Minnesota North Stars. Oh, how about
Oh,
that, Minnesota?
man.
Yeah, I don't even think they're a team anymore, are they? The
They
North
became the
Stars?
Dallas Stars.
Oh, that's right. Hull went down there and played. All right. Ooh, this is the St. Louis Blue. Meagher. Rick Meagher, right there. Look at that. He's
There he
doing some.
is.
He's eyeballing somebody right there. Yeah. All right. Ken Lineman, and I suppose he's at, I don't know, the Whalers. Is that the Whalers or the Oilers? I don't know what team he's with there. Yeah, I have no. Yeah, this
Just
is
two
wow.
hockey players to me, man.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know anybody. Jeff Smith, and this is a Edmonton Oiler right there. Jeff Smith, look, he's ready for the face-off. See, I know my hockey too. Face-off right there. Everything I know about hockey, I learned from the Hanson brothers.
That's right.
Yeah, Perry Roseanne, and that's the North Star. Look at that. I do like the jerseys for the hockey or the whatever they call them. The jerseys. I love hockey jerseys.
Oh,
I
I
think they
got it.
look really cool.
Yeah, I got a Letterkenny one. I've got a I've
Oh,
got a Charlestown Chiefs one. Um,
if you could get a hockey jersey, what team and what player would you get? Who would you get?
I don't know.
Well, I
I have a Blues jersey, and it is, gosh, who is it? It's about 10 years old.
Gary Unger.
I do remember Gary Younger, but no. Gosh, I don't even remember the jersey I got, but anyway. Yeah,
I
I
would.
like wearing hockey shirts.
Oh man, the Blues have a classic. Remember that time that Ozzy Osbourne peed on the Alamo and they arrested him and he was in a Blues jersey in his mugshot.
I did not
You
know
don't
that.
remember that? Yeah. Ozzy, we love you. A St. Louis Blue. I don't know if he's with the Blues there, but Craig Janney. Remember Craig Janney? Look
Yeah,
at
that
that.
name's
That's
familiar.
good. Yeah, good looking kid there. Good looking kid. All right. Nordiques are back. It's Alexia. It's a Russian. Mr. Russian right there. A Nordique. Can't say that name. Uh, Petra Klima. We'll call him Petra Klima right there. That's right. And finally, woo, thankfully, the last card, Trent Yawney, and it's the dreaded Chicago Blackhawks. Whoa,
Dun
the
dun dun
Blackhawks right there.
dun.
Yeah, man, that's always a few fists to fly when the Blues and the Blackhawks get together. And that's it for me, Vince. I swear I bought 2 packs of those. I want to check the other pack. If it is hockey, I'm giving it away to somebody.
The first professional athlete that I remember dying was a Blues defenseman named Bob Gassoff,
I remember
who was
that.
in a motorcycle accident somewhere near Grace Summit, Missouri. I don't know. One of the players lived in that area, and they had like a little get together or party for the players. And on his way home, he died.
Hmm.
And I I've never I should I watched hockey in the 80s and 90s, kind of casual, but I was kind of into it. And then I quit watching it, and I think it was the 98 playoffs when Grant Fuhr was the
Oh
Blues
yeah.
goalie, and the guy went and did a elbow drop on his knee. And I thought, I can't watch
Yes.
this crap anymore. That's bogus. I just haven't got back into it. But it's weird that, the only I still remember Bob Gassoff. I can honestly say I never saw the guy play because I don't know, maybe I was 6 or 7 when it happens, but for some reason it's one of those things that sticks in your head, because it was all over the news.
Oh yeah. I have friends that like hockey, and if I, hey, come on over and watch a hockey game, I'll go over and we'll talk and watch the game. But I don't know. Was that guy good? Oh, and I like their coaches are in suits. They're walking around and get out there. You know,
I
I do like that.
I did like it was in the 90s and Mario Lemieux was playing somewhere, an away game. And so when they introduced him over the speakers, they played Dude Looks Like a Lady by Aerosmith.
Oh, oh, that they really give it to them hockey player fans, or they're wild.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I know it's been a long one, but we've had a lot to talk about. So we shall see
hey,
you
good
next
times.
week. All right. Take it easy, everybody.